Yo, what's up guys, it's Corix here, and in this video we are going to be ranking every single knife in CS2, and we'll be looking at how cool they are compared to the price. So I know this list is probably going to piss some people off, because we're going to have to put some of the more cooler knives down in the lower rankings because of the price. This is going to be a list just to show what the coolest bang for your buck, if you can say that, is in CS2. So yeah, firstly we have the bayonet, and the price of the bayonet is $262. It's a really clean knife, OG knife, but the price is a bit up there compared to some of the others on this list. So I'll say we rank the bayonet at a solid B tier. So the next one is the Bowie knife. This knife comes in at $111, which is really cheap compared to how they changed the knife. It's a really big knife, it has a nice animation. Before, when it didn't have the two hands out, it was actually pretty bad in my opinion, but after they fixed that, it's really become a nice knife. The stim maxing is a bit average, but you know, it's still a pretty cool knife, and if you get some nice skins on it, yeah, it's really worth it for the money, I'd say. So if the knife didn't have the two gloves, I'd probably put it in like a C tier or something, but because of the two hands on deck, I'd say it's an A tier. It has to be. So the next knife is the butterfly knife. This knife comes in at around $1,500, which is really expensive. It is the most expensive vanilla knife you can get in the game, but it has a good reason for that. It's so sick. The stim maxing is unbelievable. You have multiple different animations, and it's just like the stim maxing is so crazy. But for the price, I can't put it high. $1,500, you can get like 10, 15, 20 of some of the other knives in this video. So I'm gonna have to put it at C tier, which really hurts me because it's like one of my favorite knives, but the price tag is way too crazy. It isn't value at all. It's of course a flex, and that's why it won't be F tier, but you can't really justify a price like that if you're on a budget. So the next knife is the classic knife. This knife comes in at $207, so it's around the same price, a bit less than the bayonet, and it's just overall a really cool knife, real OG knife from way back in the times. It has a nice animation. I don't really know if the price justifies it. It's around $50 less than the bayonet, but I would say the bayonet is a bit cooler. But yeah, I'll probably have to put it in above the bayonet. So the next one is the falcon knife. This knife comes in at $118. It has the rare animation, which you can hit somewhat often. It's a really cool animation. Yeah, at $118, I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty cool knife. I don't know why the one hand is like down so much compared to some of the other knives, so that probably draws it down a bit. But yeah, it's a good knife for the price. You can't really complain. At $118, I'm gonna have to put this in A tier. I'm not gonna put it above the Bowie. I think the Bowie is cooler. So the next knife is the flip knife. Now this is an OG knife. It comes in around $242. It's really nice and clean, but for $242 with not much animation, I'm not really sure if it's that much value for money. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to rate this at a C tier, to be honest. C to high B tier, I'm guessing. Let's go with a C tier. Now the next knife is the gut knife. This is one of the cheaper knives we're gonna have a look at today. It's $69, the cheapest so far, maybe in half price. It's a decent little knife, not much stim maxing, but yeah, it's pretty cool for the price. I mean, I think it's up there. Back in my days when I bought my first knife, it was a gut knife, and it has kind of a special place in my heart. For that price, it's so cool. I'm gonna have to put it top of A tier. Now the next knife is the huntsman knife. This comes in at $145. It has a nice animation when you pull it out, and yeah, it's a pretty cool knife. The stim maxing is okay, could be better, could be worse. So at $145, I'm gonna have to put this in probably above this classic knife. Now the next one is the karambit. Now I love the karambit. It's priced at $1,250. It's such a sick knife. I know in stretch it gets a bit worse, but I don't really play stretch, and I really think it's really nice. It's so OG, and you just have so much swag when you use a karambit. But at $1,250, it's kind of crazy. Almost as expensive as the butterfly. But I'm gonna have to put this above the butterfly at C tier. Even though I love the knife so much, it's just really bad for the price. Moving on to the M9 bayonet. This comes in at $920, so it's cheaper of the high tier. It's a really powerful knife, I guess you could say. It's a sick knife. I've had a lot of these knives myself, but the M9 bayonet is probably the one I've played with the longest. It's pretty sick, and it's pretty hard to get bored of it, but at the price point, it's also really expensive. With that being said, I'm gonna have to put it below the karambit. I think the karambit is cooler for the price. You get so much respect if you have a karambit, I'm not gonna lie. Now moving on to one of the cheapest one on the list, if not the cheapest. The Navaja knife. This is priced at $58. It's so horrible, man. It's really cheap, but god damn, it's bad. And I know some of the other knives that's coming up on the list are like around the same price. I would not play with this. So even though it's the cheapest one, I'm gonna have to put it F tier. It's just so bad. You can pay like $8 more and get a much better knife in my opinion. So moving on to the Nomad. This is priced at $170. It's a pretty chill knife, cool looking, has some decent animations. But at $170, I'm probably gonna put it below the Huntsman, which you can get for $145. But it's definitely above the Flip, so I'm probably gonna put it right above the Bayonet. Now moving on to the Paracord knife. This knife is $70. This is insanely cheap. It has different animations. A long blade. I know it's not one of the cooler knives like the Butterfly, of course, but damn, for the price, it's so good. And this is what I'm talking about. Instead of getting a Navaja, spend $10 more and get this one. It's so much more street cred. The stim maxing is better, and yeah, it's just an overall crazy knife for the price, I'm not gonna lie. With that being said, I'm gonna have to put this S tier. This is so much value for your money. It's actually insane. Moving on to the Shadow Daggers. This knife is $80. I don't know when I've last used the Shadow Daggers. It's such a bad knife. There's two of them. It's literally called the butt plugs. They are just awful. And they even had that glitch for the longest time in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, where it would shake the screen when you equipped them. And for that reason, at $80, I'm gonna put it even below the Navaja knife. This is the worst knife. It's not value for your money at all. At the same price, you can even save $10 and get a Paracord knife. I would do that any day of the week. Moving on to the skeleton knife. This knife is $300. It has a rare animation. It's a really sick knife. $300. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty decent. I would probably actually spend $40 more and get this than the Bayonet, because it's more cooler. It has a bit more stim maxing, and it's just a pretty clean knife. So with that being said, it feels like a really high tier knife, and for the price, $300. I mean, I'm gonna put it above the Falcon knife. I think it's A tier for the price. And I know some people may disagree and think it's horrible, but damn, I think it's a really cool knife for that. Now moving on to the stiletto knife. This knife comes in at $218. This is such an underrated knife. It has the rare animation. It has the little tick when you pull it out. It's so cool. It's so underrated in my opinion. It's just a little tooth stick, and I think the thing that makes it for me is the tick. Like when you pull it out, it just makes a little... Yeah, you get what I mean. I'm gonna have to put this in high A tier. At $218, I think it's really worth it. Now moving on to the survival knife. This knife is $66. So it's insanely cheap. It's really nice, and I know a lot of people hate on the survival knife, but for the price you can't really go wrong. It has that kind of bite mark thing on it, but I think it's so cool for the price. I even have this as a play knife, and yeah, it's just a lot of bang for your buck. So I'm gonna put this in S tier. I'm not really sure if it should be above the Paracord, but I think it's very close. I think I'm gonna put it below the Paracord. Now moving on to the talon knife. This comes in at $335, so $35 more than the skeleton knife. It's basically the poor man's karambit, but damn, it's a sick knife as well. I'm not gonna lie, this is a really cool knife for the price. It has a rare animation. I might even be tempted to get this as a play knife in the future because it's so cool. With that being said, I'm gonna put it in A tier. I'm gonna put it above the skeleton knife. If you have the money to spend like $300 on a knife, you should definitely get a talon knife for sure. Now moving on to the Ursus knife. This knife comes in at $105, so it's one of the cheaper knives. It's in the same price range as the Falcon knife, like $10 below that. And it's kind of like a powerful knife as well. Yeah, I wouldn't sleep on the Ursus knife. It's really good for the price. The only thing that bugs me a bit is the handle. I'm not really a big fan of that. And with that being said, I think it's gonna have to go in A tier, maybe above the Bowie knife. No, fuck it, it's below the Bowie knife. The Bowie knife is so underrated, I can't even lie. So the last item on this list is the cookery knife. This knife comes in at $122. It's one of the newer knives. It has a really unique animation where you like swing it out and you catch it. It's a really cool knife for the price. I'm not even gonna lie. I think the inspect animation is a bit weird, but together with the draw animation, it actually goes pretty hard. But yeah, I think it's a cool knife. At $122, it's not really a lot to raffle about. And yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna have to put it above the talon knife. Is there any changes I would make to this list? I think the A tier is a bit too heavy, maybe. So I'm gonna say the stiletto at $218. It's a really good knife for that price. So I'm gonna move that up to the S tier, and I think the Falcon knife will go in high B tier. The Falcon is priced at $118, so I'm not even gonna lie. It probably should be there. I would much rather get the cookery knife at that point. But yeah, this is a pretty controversial list, if I would say so myself. I would love to hear your opinions about this, and if you changed anything. Yeah, I don't really know. But yeah, you should definitely join my Discord if you want to talk about any investments or anything. We have a huge community in there, and I would love to see you in there. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Cheers.